Join two sisters who explore the couples that fandoms adore. We write their stories in the night, in the glow of computer light. Eyes connect, clothing flies. In our head, canon love never dies. Sense looks that leave us pining. In deep forums, we are mining for this journey. Better strap in, because we all know that shit happens.
Welcome to the podcast that explores the couples fans can't stop dreaming about from the pop culture you love. Because when it comes to your second favorite nostalgic video game series, Ship Happens!
We're your host. I'm Emily.
And I'm Rachel. She likes nerd culture.
And she likes making podcasts, so we thought we'd join forces to make a podcast about popular online ships.
And the best ships in the whole world are the ships that you guys send us. So be sure to send us your favorite couples, ships, polycules to shiphappenssisters@gmail.com. We know that email address is working because we've already gotten some requests that we're adding to the list. So stay tuned.
How exciting.
Shiphappenssisters at gmail.com. Because not only are we writing the C's of the shipping fandoms.
The shipping C's.
Yes, I got to stop making the boat analogies because that was what we said early on. No boats! But we're also sisters, so that's why it's sisters.
Yes, two.
Plural. Okay, before we dive into our topic today, and then we got to get right into it because I feel like this is going to be a big one. We also like to share who we're shipping this week. And I have a good one. One that I'm very passionate about.
I'm glad you think it's good.
Thanks. Yeah, I only bring A-list content to my ships of the week.
Only winners here.
Yes. This week I am shipping Huntrix and that #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100, baby. We're going up. This is our moment.
Have they made it?
No, they're in #2. They're so close.
Ooh,
I'm shipping it.
Which, golden?
Yeah. It's going to happen.
Okay, I'm doing my part.
They'll be the first girl group to get to the top of the chart since like Destiny's Child. And it's a fake group.
For now, I think I've seen some like performances of real people doing the songs, and I think they got a sequel, or they're making more stuff.
Yeah, more's coming. Because I don't think, in listening back to our Polytrix episode, I don't think it quite captured how much hold that film now has over our household. We watched it again today, and it's basically playing on repeat. So I'm like, they deserve it. Give them that #1 spot. Yep. That's the only couple I'm rooting for today.
I'm listening to it still. So my ship of the week, so this is like ship of the month, the year.
Whoa.
So, this is big. So I've mentioned, I got my AO3 account. I'm on there. I'm reading fanfics. But I have not talked about what am I reading besides,
for the show.
I'm looking for this podcast. Yeah. But I think the fandom I've probably spent the most time reading fanfics for is actually Critical Role. Do you know what Critical Role is, Rachel?
I believe you've told me about it before. Is it a Dungeons and Dragons game by Dropout? No,
close. Right, that's Dimension 20.
Oh, shoot.
That's different. So it is the same thing if you watch people play Dungeons and Dragons. Critical Role, I believe, if maybe wasn't the first, but it's for sure the biggest. They have TV shows on Amazon. They've got books. I think they're going to have a video game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's very up my alley. I should be a fan, but I'm not. I've tried. I really have tried. But I can't actually watch the very long episodes. They're like 4 hours long.
Who has
and then
time
there'll be
for
like
that?
Hundreds in a campaign. It's just so long.
Yeah.
It's so much. So I tried. It didn't work for me, but the way I live my life, I'm still like aware of what's happening and like the plot and characters. And I am interested in it, and it seems like I said, very my shit. So when I get on AO3, I was like, well, let me check it out. I can read the story. I can read the characters. So I've been reading the fan fiction. So this is the ship of the week. My favorite ship that comes out of it would be specifically a certain sad wizard and how he wants to kiss a different wizard. So it's called Shadowgast. So it's Caleb Widowgast and then Essek Thelis. So I don't know because I don't watch it. So it's all just what I picked up from fanfic. Caleb is one of the player characters, so him and the party, they go to a queen's court and they're at war. They get in good with them. The queen's like, you can have some resources, you can do some work for me. But while you do that, you know, you're going to have this liaison to like work with you and help you out, but also like totally spy on you.
Not even subtle. Yeah.
Yeah. So the ship name is Shadow Gas. So Gas is from Caleb's last name. Shadow is from his name is Essek. His title is Shadow Hand. So like, what else is he doing?
Right.
Yeah, like,
nothing straightforward, I imagine.
Yeah. So that's the dynamic. So they're kind of working together, but you can't trust each other because they're keeping secrets, but also he's for sure keeping secrets, and they might be trying to screw each other over at the same time. And then another level for like these two specifically. So they're wizards.
Yeah.
With their magical powers. And so they kind of bond over that. They're like intellectual equals. They have the same passions, the same love of magic. Ooh. So yeah, you meet someone you like vibe with, but also that might be screwing you over actively.
Yeah, the danger element of it
right.
makes it hot.
Yeah. I saw a post on Tumblr. It said something along the lines of like, what I love about these two is that they both kind of looked at the other one and said, I'm going to just seduce this guy with my intelligence and my like magical prowess for my own means. And then they both succeeded. So now you're just
now
in love.
Just dating. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of the initial like kind of meet cute, I guess, for them. And then there's like a lot that happens. But we don't need to get into it right now. So they just announced they're doing a second TV show, which will be about like specifically these people. It's coming out in November. So maybe we have our own episode there. I can just tell you all about it.
Yeah. I don't have to do any research. I'll just react.
Yeah, just Emily.
Ooh,
info dumping.
Sorcery.
Not sorcerers. That's different.
Oh no, a wizard and
yeah, I learned that from Baldur's Gate 3. I didn't know.
No.
But yeah, sorcerers are born with magical powers. Wizards learn them.
Oh, okay. But Harry Potter is a
from Baldur's Gate
sorcerer
3.
then, I guess, because he had magical power.
Yeah, magical.
You're not a wizard, Harry. You're a sorcerer.
You're a sorcerer.
So the thing about these Dungeons and Dragon characters is one's a person playing it, and the other's just a made-up figment of the Dungeon Master's imagination.
Yeah, one is the Dungeon Master playing Essek. And so that is kind of relevant specifically to our topic today. So Critical Role's whole like shtick. These things always have like a shtick. So Critical Role is that they are all voice actors, so they're good at the acting and role playing part, and they love to do different accents. But yeah, and they're all currently still working. The DM, so Dungeon Master specifically, is very busy because I think he's in like every video game I play. So that would be Matt Mercer. And he's in the video game that we are discussing today.
Is this a connection? Whoa, that is a good transition.
Segue, yeah.
And so what game are we talking about today?
Well, we're talking about a whole series of games, but yeah, we were specifically talking about the Legend of Zelda and the many, many games. So 21 games, the initial first game being released in 1986, The Legend of Zelda. So in the games, you play as Link. Normally kind of a humble origin. He seems to be very like farmer, and then he's thrust into the adventure. And then you kind of work your way up into being the hero with like magical powers, and you get the cool special sword. And then you, of course, have to save the princess. It seems like you kind of have to save her in the old games, or the new games, you have to kind of find her.
Right. You have to track her
and
down.
And then you work together.
Yeah, to fight the big bad.
Yeah, which would be Ganondorf, who is the character that Matt plays.
Oh.
So that's the connection.
That's funny.
He plays the bad guy. So this is all new to me, but apparently all three of these characters are being like reincarnated for every game. So each game can be totally different and I can do whatever Nintendo wants them to do because they're all like, you're starting from zero at every game.
Yes.
Basically.
One of the things that I watched was a timeline of how the games are supposed to all fit together. And it's like the 7th or 8th game is actually the first in the series. And that's when we find out that Zelda is a reincarnated goddess. And then every instance of Zelda and Link after are different people. Maybe they're children, maybe not. That are
right, because it's different. Like I thought Zelda was like, yeah, the goddess each time. Link's just a guy. Like he's just a guy that each time is the hero. So I think he's completely different. And then Ganon is just the exact same person.
Right. So yeah, different levels.
The whole time.
Yeah, varying levels of like one is exactly the same, one's the same but different, and then one's different. Yeah. I don't know. I got the impression that Link was reincarnated or like it was like their children are cursed to repeat this cycle over and over.
Yeah, I don't know if Link is exactly the same guy, but like it's kind of or maybe blessed.
Right.
But anyway, they're all doing this because they're holders connected to the Triforce, aka the Holy Trinity of Hyrule. Amen.
And peace be with you.
Yeah.
This is where like my eyes glazed over. I pulled up the fan lore page and it was so long. And I was like, I can't. Like, let me pull up TikTok and break this into bite-sized pieces.
Every time I got too into the weeds with the lore, yeah, I was like, oh my God.
Like, get me out of here. Because should we say what we're talking, who specifically we're talking about today?
Yes.
Let's, like the Triforce itself, we're going to dig into that Holy Trinity. Because they all shipped. Because we're going to talk about one very famous ship and one so famous ship. And that is Zelda and Link, right? Of course, like the kind of base bone Links.
The big one.
Zelink. And then the other one, right up there with it, just as important, just as relevant, just as wholesome. And that is going to be Ganon Link, right? Isn't that what it's called?
Galink, Ganon Link, or Galink.
I could not find anything for Galink. I googled that and it was nothing.
I couldn't. Yeah, so I did suggest this. This was my poll. In my defense, I know fuck all about Legend of Zelda. I just was like, Link and Zelda. Okay, I'm sure people ship them together, obviously. Yeah. I was like, but that's boring. Let's like do some spicier.
It's spicy.
It's spicy. I was like, I'm for certain people are shipping Link with the bad guy. Like, but yeah, it was not as easy to find as I thought it would be. And then when you do find it, it is something
else. Yeah. And that's coming from 2 seasoned fanfic readers at this point. Yeah. Belinda has a massive cock or whatever that tag was.
Right. Like, I'm not new to the internet.
I'm not just stumbling upon, I've stumbled upon. But
it was some stumbling. Yeah.
Truly.
But anyway, like I said, yeah, my experience with Legend of Zelda, none at all. I really thought that Link was Zelda, like, cross-dressing to go on adventures until very recently.
Why did I think that too? Like, that must have been some kind of shared experience. Maybe you told me that and I believed it.
They look the same.
They do. They're very similar.
I mean, it's called Legend of Zelda, and so I assumed the main character was Zelda, and then it was a guy named Link, and I was like, well, sometimes girls put on pants and go on adventures. So
yeah, you're thinking of Silas or whatever. What was that game that had the woman who at the end the big surprise was that
Metroid?
Yes, her name's
Samus. Yeah,
that's what you're thinking.
Surprise! It's a lady, but don't worry about it. She's still hot.
Yeah, you were a woman the whole time. Sucker.
Consider that.
Consider that. Sit with that. Hold some space for it.
So yeah, I didn't know anything about Legend of Zelda, and I've even watched videos about. I think I have watched like a timeline video where it was like, oh, they all connect. There's like the shadow timeline or whatever. Anyway,
yes,
yeah, I no ideas. I did consider buying a Switch back in the day when Breath of the Wild was being super hyped, game of the year. But I just never did it. Seemed kind of dumb to buy a whole console for one game, although I did buy my PS5 to play Baldur's Gate 3, so,
But you played PlayStation before, though, right? Like, that's your...
Yeah. I knew I was going to upgrade eventually, so I was just like, well, I guess now is the time. But yeah, I never pulled the trigger. I'm a PlayStation bitch because Sony does what Nintendo don't, which is something I heard on a podcast that has lived in my head ever since. Sony does what Nintendo don't.
Which is fair.
What is that exactly? I don't know.
Well, because when I listened to 3 hours, Emily, 3 hours of Legend of Zelda from the podcast formerly known as The Wizard and the Bruiser, now called Nerd of Mouth, what they meant was that when Nintendo was putting out Twinker Pan running around looking for a mythical princess, going and exploring caves, Sony was like, putting out Street Fighter, you know? So you got like mystical little Legend of Zelda and Mario, and then you have like Bitch Hunter 2 on Sony. It's just a little bit edgier, a little bit cooler.
Yeah. But really what I'm talking about is like we played Crash Bandicoot.
Hell
instead,
yeah.
So.
And I still, because my husband is a Nintendo family. He played all the Marios, all this stuff. And like when we try to play Mario parties or Mario Kart, I'm like, I can't. What? This doesn't make any sense. Because I'm like, put me on a PlayStation. Put me on Crash Team Racing. I'll whoop all you. Blindfolded.
So my only experience with the Switch is playing on my parents' Switch. They did get Breath of the Wild. I don't think Mom made it very far. But I did play on her game. And it made me happy, kind of happy I didn't buy it. I'm not super into games where I have to worry about stamina. I want to climb whatever I want to climb.
No, that's fair. Like Assassin's Creed. I'm like all the way up the mountain.
Don't stop me. I don't like when your swords break. You got to like watch how much you've used them or whatever. I play video games. So here I wrote, cruise through on story mode as unto a god.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's best
my
thing.
power
It's just, I
fantasy,
just like to stop things, right, and win. I don't want to have to try.
Yes, I just want to win. I give boss fights 2 tries, and then I either grind a little bit, get some XP, or I drop the difficulty.
Well, I would play Assassin's Creed on learning mode or education mode, so I can't drop it any lower than that. I literally just want to run around.
That's just exploring.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately did not translate to an interest in Breath of the Wild because I tried to play that as well because I was a fan of Skyrim, like loved Skyrim. Didn't play it conventionally. I never went underground. I'm like, don't send me to a freaking tomb or cavern or pit.
You never did a dungeon.
I hate dungeons. They freak me out. And we owe it to Zelda because the guy who made it is the one who invented the dungeon format. So now it's just like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so I just ran around Skyrim killing wolves. That's basically all I did. But I had a blast doing it. And every time I see a dragon, I run away. But I literally never got into it. I knew nothing about Zelda. And that's saying something because in college, I literally took a class called Portrayals of Women in Video Games. I took that class unintentionally, by the way. The syllabus or whatever, when we were signing up for classes, just said portrayals of women in video. And I was like, yeah, I took Sociology 101. I can nail this. And then we get in and we find out it's all games. Me and like 2 other girls I knew, and one instantly dropped. And the other one was like, we stayed through it. It was a nightmare. The class was, we had to like move around a game board and complete tasks. It was bonkers. But yet, somehow, I was able to retain information on Night Trap, which, are you familiar with that game at all?
No,
I've not heard of that. It's like a surveillance video vampire. It's like the first game with like real people in it or something. I don't know. Stuff You Should Know just did an episode on it. And I was listening to it like, wow, I remember all this. Anyways, a really random, poorly received game. That stuck. Zelda, nothing. I know we talked about The Legend of Zelda. Nothing stuck. And then I like, again, coming into it now, I feel like I could study this for weeks and not just like the 36 hours that I gave. No, just kidding. I worked on this one a lot longer. As I said, I listened to podcasts, multiple, about this. I still don't know what the hell. I just feel like it's such a broad spectrum of games and source material that it's just...
Right, because there's 20 games, and then since they can be reincarnated, it's not like a narrative. Right? Each game has its own thing going on.
Yeah, and it's not just games. I believe there's also probably like books.
Oh, yeah.
And there's definitely a cartoon. Excuse me, princess. That was Link's tagline. He said it often.
That's interesting. So maybe that's why Link doesn't talk in the games, because he's insufferable.
Yeah, so let's get into the characters then, because Link is the main protagonist, right? And he doesn't talk, which he is like quite literally the self-insert.
Yeah, you play as Link. He doesn't super have a personality, it would seem, because it's not a role-playing game, so like you don't have to make choices. But I guess you do get some dialogue options. But yeah, so you have Link. He's a player character. Yeah, not a whole lot going on. He's kind of mute. He's just like regular hero. He's brave and courageous, I guess, and he's so courageous that he has the courage shard of the Triforce. So he's kind of the representation of courage.
Oh, I see. You learned some stuff. I didn't know anything about this triad.
So then, next you have, of course, the titular Zelda. So the princess, her shard or whatever is wisdom. I think she gets some like special magical powers. She's descended or is a goddess. I don't know. But she either needs to be rescued or like found in every game, because you can't have her around the whole time. You're running around Link by yourself to go on adventures. So like she can't be around.
Exactly. And she's like rare. You can play her a few times, but like she's not a playable character, right? Because she's not the self-insert.
Mm-hmm.
She, I think, supposed to have her own personality. But from the early days, she's just like the Princess Peach of this galaxy. You have to go and save her, right? Mm-hmm. You just have to go get her.
Yeah.
She's the prize at the end of the game, which I vaguely kind of remember from my class back in the day. She fell into the damsel in distress category. And then they tried to flesh out her personality by really breaking some new ground by making her sweet and caring and liking to study. I think that the dynamic of Link being a self-insert and then this like very traditionally feminine character, it speaks to a lot of the people who are doing the shipping. In my opinion. That's people who like that dynamic, those are the ones who are going to ship these two. Because, like I said, Link doesn't really, he's just a blank slate. Except for the cartoon when he's a little douchebag.
This is gonna miss.
He literally whistles at Zelda. He goes, "Looking good, princess."
Oh my god!
Especially from this angle. And then Zelda punches him in the face later. And he goes, "I'll never whistle again." So yeah, they actually have a lot of personality in that show.
It's all bad. So yeah. Speaking of bad, we have the evil leg of this triangle. And that would be Ganon or Ganondorf. So he is an evil sorcerer, and he has the shard of power, which I guess just makes him bad always, forever. But he has power. He always wants more power. He's always trying to conquer the world. He has a lot of different forms. You see people call him like Calamity Ganon.
Yeah, Calamity. I was like, what?
Sometimes he's like kind of a human. He doesn't look fully human. But that's when he's called Ganondorf, which is a very funny name to me. Sometimes he's a pig man, so I didn't know that when I brought him up either.
Yeah, again, Emily was like trying to get this ship going without having any of the facts.
No knowledge. Yeah.
Some of his human form is hot. Let's just say that. Or at least some of the people cosplaying look really good while cosplaying.
Okay, so there's something there.
Oh, according to the fanfics, yes, there is.
Yeah.
The pig, I don't know. Maybe that probably is part of some of the fanfics. I didn't click on those.
I'm sure that's some. Yeah.
Yeah.
The size seemed to be number one, but
right. And there's a lot to not like about Ganon, I guess, based on the game. But I'm gonna raise some red flags on the character development here because I'm not buying it. Ganon is supposedly the one male that's born every 100 years to this society of women, right? So this society of women, they only have one boy, and he becomes their king by default, I guess, because he has a penis. I was like, are you kidding me? Like a group of women living together, they're just like, oh, one pair of XY chromosomes, you must lead us. You know, like, that's bullshit. What do they do for the 50 years in between? And also, no society of women is going to be raising some pig monster who like wants to take over the world. He'd be like down with the mother goddess, right? I don't know. I'm like, this is definitely, I feel like, made by someone who doesn't understand women. And then also made by somebody who's probably a little racist towards people who live in the Middle East because they live in the desert and they're thieves and rogues. Like, let's lay off the stereotypes a little bit.
So this is what bothers me. So they're all one of three. They're all together in a triangle. And Link and Zelda, they're always good, but he's always evil. Like, it just seems like he got the shit end of the deal here. Like, why are they, like, the two epitomes of goodness, whereas he just gets stuck evil always forever?
Yeah, because wisdom can definitely motivate you to make mistakes, right? Like, can be
That's literally, in Dragon Age, when I played last year, the main bad guy. So he was a spirit. He was a spirit, I believe, of wisdom, but then he got corrupted and became pride. So it's like, yeah, you could spin it. You can make
especially
it bad.
with courage, right? Courage could easily become pride, or, you know, like,
aggression. Or like,
I know it's best for everybody, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, let's switch that game up a little bit. Let's play Ganon next time, and he's got to save the world from evil Link.
Just having one guy be evil all the time just because, like, I don't know, he's evil. Because he's like, he was doomed to be evil. He was...
Right, it's like a Judas situation. Like, is he really the bad guy if he was made to do it?
Like, what would the other two even be doing if he wasn't around?
They just living on their farms or whatever. I don't know.
Anyway, so those are the three players.
If they're a triangle, right? What is it called? The triad? Link's the connecting piece right there because he's the link. He links them together. Because, he's shipped with Zelda quite commonly with the ship name Zelink.
Yeah.
Which
Zelink.
I guess you can't really do much else with that.
Yeah, Link is kind of...
Linkta. Yeah, I guess Zelink's a little bit better. And a little bit more recognizable for the brand.
Mm-hmm.
But then the other one is Ganon Link, which is what I saw.
I saw Ganon Link. I saw some Link. Yeah. I guess if you're gonna ship, keep it consistent.
So now we're gonna get into our famous segment here: meet cute or get the boot. So this was hard. I saw this section when I was doing my research, and I was like, I found a really big Reddit post that was like super long, and then I never actually read it.
Well, because they're being reincarnated practically every game. So there's just a lot of meet cutes, a lot of options. Sometimes the game starts, they already know each other, they're childhood friends. Sometimes the meet cute is like the moment at the end of the game when you find or rescue
Yeah, and he gets
Zelda.
down on his knee and kisses her hand or whatever, like, "Milady."
Yeah.
Excuse me, princess. Sorry.
So I guess there's like lots of options. I don't know. So I guess specifically in the newer game, Breath of the Wild, I don't even know if you get a meet cute. Link's working as Zelda's kind of like knight bodyguard. You, through a series of kind of extra quests, you can kind of unravel their memories and kind of watch them grow closer. Kind of get some, I guess if you're dedicated, some background into their relationship. But yeah, I don't know.
In Tears of a Kingdom, they were already working together. I think that opening scene involves them
in the newest one.
Yeah, the tombs or whatever.
Because that one is a direct sequel. So their meet cute would have been Breath of the Wild.
But again, it happens every game pretty much. There's a cute.
Yeah.
There's a meet cute or they're meeting. Did you watch that TikTok I put on here?
No, I didn't.
So I watched a lot of fan edits because that's how I try to gauge how much I like it. And this was the only one that moved me at all. Here, let's see if I can click on it real quick. It's to a song from Epic, so that also helps. And I thought it was actually really well done. So I'll try to link it in the show notes because this person deserves all the credit. There's like this really cool, I wish I had done more of it, but they probably only have so much to work with. Where it opens up and it's like, I'll fall in love with you over and over again. And it's like fast cuts between like Link kneeling in front of her in all the different games. And I'm like, okay, I get it now. Like, I think that. So I'll call that a meet cute in my book just from this one fan edit. Because that was the only one that actually got me to be like, oh, like a little tear in my eye.
They're meant to be together.
So that's what I'll call it a meet cute.
So you're saying meet. I feel like it has to be meet cute now because everyone's going to be waiting for them to get together. So I feel like every time they initially interact, it has to be like a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ganon. I think Ganon just shows up and they fight. So
Yeah, he's like, hey there. And I get it because I've watched so many clips and I've read like a handful of the Ganon Link fan fiction. I don't know what's from what anymore. RP's gonna say, "Oh, like the fun's just beginning." Like, what does that mean? What did he say? I would take more than your hand this time, and I was like, "No, don't." I think that was actually a real line of
Braver than
dialogue.
me. I didn't click on any of it. I like was scrolling, just like, it's every single one.
Yeah, non-consent. I was like,
Yeah.
well, so what's interesting is that there is Zelda /Link /Ganon.
Yeah.
And I didn't get far enough in. I tried to read it, but you got to really dig for the actual like romance part. But it was one of the top ones. I think it's called Interim. And it was interesting because in the story, Link didn't talk either. He just communicated through like gestures and whatnot and looks, knowing looks. So that was funny.
Oh, cute. So yeah, where does the ship come from? Why do people want to see them together? Well, they're like kind of destined to be together because of the whole reincarnation Triforce thing. So yeah, Zelda is archetype of the goddess, and then Link would be the hero, and they reincarnate whenever Hyrule is in peril. So kind of like a star-crossed lovers across the
ages,
the universe.
Yeah, the timelines,
and they'll find you
over and over again.
So I found a quote I liked from Anna Diaz off an article in Polygon that says, the love they share is divine and thus may be a bit hard to understand. I like that. The love they share is divine.
Divine.
But also, it might be hard to understand.
The angels
so maybe
in the clouds are jealous that we found something so out of the ordinary. Sorry, I hate that song.
So you have these two characters. They're meant to be together, or maybe they just are meant to work together. Maybe they don't need to get together. I don't know. I think I kind of like that a bit more. I'm not a huge fan of the like fated mates trope.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't get a real choice in it, then like, I don't know, it's not romantic to me. But like, I think it is kind of romantic to be like, oh, well, sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Like maybe in this universe is one where it works out. So it's specialer.
Yeah. And I think that was what makes this like the most inoffensive ship ever created. And why the fandom, like, there was no controversy that I found about it.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything. I was like, I don't like Zelink. Like,
I typed in Zelink hater. And I'm like, I didn't get anything. And it's just because this is the thing that people say. Well, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Because it's so different and so varied. You could be like, I shipped them in this story. And someone would be like, well, I don't. But, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Like this most recent game, clearly Nintendo was feeding little crumbs of it.
Oh, yeah.
So like, yeah, obviously you see it there, but in one where they're like, don't meet until the very end. They're coworkers, basically.
Yes. Yeah, or, you don't see the love story on the page, right? It might happen after the fact. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But yeah, I think that I should have done more digging into when these Zelink stories were published. If it was more tied to like Breath of the Wild, or if it's been something that's been around a lot longer.
Right. There's a big kick. I bet it was a big jump with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. But I'm sure there's people from the OG.
Oh, yeah, because it's hero and princess. I mean, come on. Mm-hmm. He was a boy, she was a girl.
Yeah.
But there are some moments, and I tried to write them down, and I don't even know what game this is from, honestly.
This is all Breath of the Wild. So these are all... So this is that side quest where I think you uncover memories of their time before... Zelda went to wherever she went.
She became a dragon.
Trapped in a... That's Tears of the Kingdom. That's later.
Oh, shit. Sorry. I swear. I have a memory running around Breath of the Wild and seeing a dragon in the sky.
Well, she would have been there. Right. So the time. So this is just from YouTube. Yeah. I think Link has to save her from a castle in Breath of the Wild. And then in Tears of the Kingdom, shit goes down with Ganon. She gets sent back in time, becomes a dragon, and then is just a dragon forever up until the end of Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh.
So you had to save her from the castle while she was also a dragon.
Yeah, because then they start getting in there and messing with time. This is like
making it
a game that's already got 3 timelines and making things confusing. we're going to get in there and we're going to start playing with time as well. And to that, I just say, hey, Ocarina. That's my contribution.
Ocarina of Time. The one time anyone ever says the word ocarina.
I had to make that little thing up so I could remember how to actually say it. Anyways, what we were talking about in the Breath of the Wild, Memory 13. So Zelda is trying to gather her powers or get her powers. And one of the
she
ways,
can't use her powers.
the way that she does this is by figuring out that love is a motivator. And there's like a bard who sings a song about how a fallen knight awakens her powers, and like Link's supposed to be her light, and there's like some meaningful looks with somebody else. I don't know all this, but that's kind of one of the hints that people hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is captured memories, which is in Breath of the Wild, which is, I guess, you find journal entries from past Link, because like this was also a long time, right? Link wakes up from 100 years.
Oh, yeah.
I played this
Something like that.
part and I was confused. And he has a thing about he wants to see the princess smile again, which, speaking of breadcrumbs, that's a little tiny one, but people, they cite that as...
It says, like, with my own eyes. So all this is translated from Japanese, so I think there's some weird turns of phrase.
Yes. But if you finish, this is a little fun little twist here. If you finish this quest, you get the secret ending. And in the secret ending, Zelda then does this weird uncanny valley smile.
It looks so odd. Yeah, I should have watched this.
It's like a full open mouth smile, but there's no teeth. That's what he wants to see with his own eyes.
Yep. You know he loves her.
And there's also something about petals falling and a wedding.
There's a character, yeah, who is like, during weddings, we stow the petals from the specific flower, and that if it's raining petals, that means it's true love. And then during that secret ending scene, when she's smiling at him, there is like petals falling. So it's like true love. And there's also, and then Link is like standing so far away from her, and in all the memories, he's standing so far away from her.
And like behind her.
And then he like, yeah, because he's a bodyguard. So, but then he runs to catch up, and then they're walking next to each other.
Yes.
I did think that was cute.
Yeah, that is actually sweet. And that's probably the biggest thing that shows their personal relationship. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's funny that you said Nintendo don't, because what Nintendo don't do is confirm this. They like to leave love kernels. They're just like, people are gobbling them up.
Yes. Many YouTube videos talk about the same ones over and over.
And okay, so here's the one I think is the most damning. And this is the one that's stuck in my like cheesecloth trap of a brain. And that is the bed politics. Because you can't talk about Zelink without the bed politics. Apparently, where you can sleep in The Legend of Zelda is actually tied to relationships, kind of like The Sims, right? The Sims 4. You can't just sleep in anybody's bed. And you're relegated mostly to sleeping at a camp or sleeping at an inn, I think, are the two places you can do it the most.
Yeah, it's either like your house or like a hotel.
So Link ends up, this is where I get fuzzy. He ends up in the house that Zelda was staying in, which I think also was his house at some point. So maybe that's where I'm getting confused. Again, or was that in the fanfic? I'm not sure. But he ends up at her house and he's able to sleep in her bed. In the bed in the house Zelda's hiding out in.
Yeah, I think it's his house from the previous game. He buys it, and then you can go to it. But now it's Zelda staying there. But you can still sleep in the bed, but Zelda for sure lives there. And, like, his shit's there. Like, there's a picture of him from the previous game or something. And his hair ties in the bedroom. Yeah,
she's got, like, a study, right, with all of her private stuff in it. So it's like, it's not like she moved into the house after he left. It's like, it's still like a cohabitating situation because she still has her own private space. Like if you were living in a house by yourself, you wouldn't keep all your stuff confined to one room and let the previous owner's things just like be out and about, right? Like that's just not how the world works. That's not how living works.
All right, that makes some more sense. Because that was something like, why would she have her own study space if it's her house? I was like, I have my own house and this is my office. Like, I don't just live in one room. Like, yeah, I still spread stuff out.
But yeah. You would take your laptop to the living room sometimes, right? You know,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be like everything is locked in there.
Exactly the same as the previous game, but
Yeah. So that's the most damning thing, I think, that they're like, ooh, you could share like a bed in the most like Nintendo way possible.
Mm-hmm. A twin bed.
Well, Link is a child some of the time, right?
Yeah, some of the time he is a child. Kind of looks like a child.
Yes.
Always.
And that's, before we get into the criticism, we also have to look at this. Remember, we're supposed to also be talking about Ganon Link.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, there's not so many videos out there connecting Link and Ganondorf or whatever. But here's
there must be nothing in these games.
like, truly. But they do just keep killing each other. Like, mostly Link kills Ganon. Sometimes Ganon kills Link on occasion. And it's just like, what's up with that? You know? You don't just like kill people you feel nothing for.
There's an angle where it's romantic, maybe, that like Link and Zelda are forever tied in this cycle or whatever. But also, like, let's call him Bowser.
So is this Bowser guy.
Yeah. But like Ganon's there too.
He's as fated to them, right?
Right, he's as tied to them. So I could see, like, to me, there's a story there where either maybe he comes back and he's so tired of fighting Link all the time. Like, and always losing. Maybe he wants to try something new. Maybe Link's tired of fighting him constantly and always having to be the savior. Maybe he wants to side with Ganon for once.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
that one's interesting. Yeah.
Maybe over the lives, they form some kind of relationship, maybe mutual respect that you can build out to a relationship eventually. But none of the fanfics seem to want to go there.
No, right. And I was kind of expecting that as well. Like, when you look at like the dark side of relationships, like, you see it so often with like Hermione, right? And even like Raylo.
Right, enemies to lovers is huge.
Yeah. And it's like, and it's not just enemies to sex slaves, it's enemies to lovers. Like, they build an emotional attachment.
Yes.
That did not happen. And
that is not what I saw, no.
The fics that I looked at.
Which leads me to believe there must be just not a lot character-wise.
Yeah, Ganon's just the bad guy. Right? It's like a very specific,
very large bad guy.
Yeah, fantasy that is being played out.
Yes.
In these stories. And meanwhile, Zelda and Link, I feel, is like the most vanilla, like wholesome shipping. Ganon Link's the opposite. It's like the opposite, the foil to it.
Yeah. We have the like high romance and then just like the fucking.
I thought that maybe they could take what you said, or even the fact that they find each other in every lifetime just to fight, that there's something there, maybe sweeping and romantic. If we can have Steve Harrington going through a time loop and accepting his sexuality, maybe something like that could happen here. But it has yet to be written. Maybe we'll write it.
Yeah, maybe it's there. It was just not in the first couple of pages of like highest hits. On AO3.
Yeah. We know what you like.
Not what the people want.
Yeah. We know what the people want.
Yeah. Now we found out. But yeah, I think we've talked about kind of the two dynamics there. So yeah, why fans like it. Hero saves princess. It's Mario and Peach. It's like very much the same.
Yeah, it's Sleeping
That's
Beauty.
also kind of
it's Disney. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
People who don't know each other are suddenly in love because that's X, Y, and Z, right? That's just the roles they play.
Yeah, and that's kind of the criticism, that it's just, snooze boring.
It is
just kind of expected.
Yeah, it is a snooze fest. There is no sizzle to Zelink. Like, the closest I could scrounge up to a sizzle was that one fan edit. And that was more like the, aw. I was moved, but it's just like snooze boring.
So what other criticisms did I find? Mostly you get the whole like, oh, I just don't feel it. Or maybe I feel it in this game, not in this game. Sometimes they're actual children. So
yeah, in the first game, Link was 10 years old. He was literally meant for children to self-insert onto. going on
Oh,
adventures.
that's crazy.
Yeah, because the I learned this in the podcast that I listened to is that the game was meant to mimic the creator's childhood, because apparently he spent his childhood just running around in the woods, I guess, as kids did before the early 2000s and the internet. Everybody just ran around, and so he used to like find caves and just go into them, and so then he was like, I'm gonna make a game like that. And now everybody in Skyrim has to go into fucking tombs.
Dungeon crawling is like a thing. Yeah. So that's interesting because I think there's a line in, I think it's the first game. It's one of them where your uncle is going to go save. And this is fantasy, uncles are always doomed. So he's going to go save Zelda. He dies. And then he tells Link, the princesses, or you're the princesses. And people use that as like, and then he dies. So potentially it could be like, I don't know, fated love or but if you're 10 years old, that's weird.
Yeah, you're the princess's only hope, Obi-Wan.
Yeah, it's very Star Wars. I also saw, this isn't, I guess, necessarily criticism. I read an article that was like everything you need to know about Link and Zelda's relationship. And then one of them was that Link is consistently shorter than her.
Oh.
It's like, okay.
Maybe, yeah, people don't like a short king.
Nah, but they love a giant top.
They sure do. But nobody's criticizing Ganon Link because there's nothing out there for it.
They're not. Yeah.
We're criticizing it a little bit.
I just was expecting more.
Right. Well, your hopes were high and they were dashed.
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
shores
I'm
of the
not
sea of
kink
shipping.
shaming. If it works for you, good for you. But yeah, I just thought there would be. I thought it would be more.
Okay, back to the criticism of the snooze boring. It's like it sounds so bad. It sounds like we're dissing on the game, but the game itself was very revolutionary. It was really like groundbreaking and different. The character dynamics and relationships are not.
There's a lot of other people should link with like a lot of other side characters and.
Oh, do they? Because when I was talking about this, my husband is the Nintendo guy, right, in our family. So I was asking him about it, and we were like watching playthroughs or whatnot, and he was like, "Oh, put on the Twilight Princess," and I was like, why the Twilight Princess? He's like, no, just put it on. And so we watched like the cutscene of when she turns hot again at the end. And I was like, wait a minute, Dan, do you have a crush on the Twilight Princess? Do you ship these two? Are you like Twilight Princess over Zelda?
Yeah.
He was just like, whatever. And I'm like, nope, that's what Dan's a shipper. He ships those two. And I'm like,
who's Twilight Princess? That's not.
Well, let me
Zelda?
tell you. So she lives in Ganon's world or whatever, in the Twilight realm. Not the Shadow Realm. That's like, you don't call it Shadow Realm or your husband gets mad at you. In the Twilight Realm, and she gets turned into a sprite of some kind. And so she's like your little companion, like this little annoying pixie the whole time. And then at the end, you cure her and she turns hot again. And then she goes through the mirror and breaks it. She goes back to the Twilight Realm and then breaks the mirror so she can't get back, even though they had spent the whole game fixing the mirror. So I guess you could fix it again. Anyways, she's one of the top ones. Her name is like Mirda or something. Mirda.
Okay, I feel like Mirda was one I saw.
Yes.
So there's, the dynamic between Zelda and Link is kind of boring. But there's other NPCs that are interesting. And then the games themselves, I mean, they're super popular. Clearly, they're fun.
Yeah, and there's definitely other characters who have more overt romantic interest in Link. So I think that makes it easier to ship them.
Yeah. Right, you're not all will they, won't they.
But then you also got Miss Zelda on the pedestal. So, I mean, like, how can a mere mortal human with pointy ears compete with that?
He's like the people of that world. Like, it's a different world. There's like fish people. There's little fairies.
Okay. Yeah, just the base model of that universe. Because that's all humans ever are in fantasy. It's just like the base model.
There's different races. That's not what I say. I saw him getting shipped with this guy, Siphon or something. He's a fish guy.
That's hot. I'm going to read that fic.
There was more. I should have pulled that up. There's more of those. It seemed more popular. But yeah, speaking of fic, so Zelink of the two we're talking about is 10 times more popular. There's about 8,000 fics out there on AO3. Link, a measly 800. I really thought there'd be more, but then when I dug into it, maybe that's all we need.
Yeah, I think that they could close that. Unless we're going to write our sweeping romance one.
Yes. I mean, maybe there's in there. It's just, it wasn't a popular one.
Yeah, it was not a top one. And even still, 8,000, like, I guess that's higher than some of the more recent ones, but I don't feel like that's very much. Like, I feel like this is a ship where you're like, you play the game and you're like, yeah, I want them to get together, but like, I don't, because of its blandness, I don't think this is a ship that is very inspiring.
There's nothing to investigate. Yeah, I don't want to get into Link's character or Zelda's character because there just isn't
a lot
much.
And you
there.
guys tell us if we're wrong. I'm like, this is very important. And the people who listen to the show are probably people who just listen to the ones that are interesting to them. So if unless you listen to every episode, let us know, because that would be nice to hear if you do. And we look forward to hearing from you, Mom.
I'm not even sure Mom keeps up.
No. But like, if you listen to every episode, like, bully to you. But I feel like we see the ones that catch people listening to the ones of their interest. So if you're listening to this, it's probably because you like Zelink or you like Legend of Zelda. So you can tell us all the ways we're wrong. shiphappenssisters at gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. But yeah, to me, it just like, it doesn't capture the imagination because it is just kind of like, okay. Like, yeah, it is what it is. I could see it. I could not. It doesn't offend, but it doesn't like spark a lot.
And if you check, I thought we maybe had another poly situation, but there are some fics out there for all three, but only 150. So some work, but not a whole lot.
I'm surprised there's not more because of the triad piece.
Yeah, just they're all tied together.
Yeah, it feels like you could do so much with that, right?
So I did do some investigating. So when I did pitch Ganondorf, so there's like two names that live in my head that are video game villains where I just kind of think the names are fun. So one is Ganondorf, and the other would be Sephiroth from Final Fantasy. So when I pitched shipping Link with Ganondorf, who I was thinking of was Sephiroth. So I went in and looked into that. So I was like, well, how popular is Sephiroth?
Because you were telling me it was a hot character. I remember. You're like, It's kind of a hot dude. And I was like, okay.
I thought he was like a pretty guy. So if you ship Sephiroth with Cloud from Final Fantasy, there are 4,000 works there.
Ah!
That was more what I was thinking.
Oh, man, that is a pretty man. Yeah, I could see where that guy would be ship fodder.
Yes.
Oh, his sword's so long. Jesus.
I think there might be some, like, he starts good and then becomes bad, so there might be some more, like, fodder there for angst. So anyway, that was what I was thinking when I pitched this idea, and in my defense, I was right. In that case, I just had the total wrong total wrong character.
IP.
I was like, there's Ganondorf, there's Sephiroth, Matt Mercer voices one of them. I don't know which one.
Yeah. Well, now I've learned a lot about The Legend of Zelda against my will.
I think Final Fantasy would have been harder to do.
Yeah, and again, because I remember you talking about this. I think you mentioned Final Fantasy, and I'm like, is that the Disney one?
No, so he is in Kingdom Hearts as well.
Oh.
So to me, Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, same video game. I was like, yes, Mickey Mouse is there. But I guess Final Fantasy crosses over into the Kingdom Hearts. I don't know if they're still making Kingdom Hearts. They're still making Final Fantasy, though. Yeah, I have no idea what
that shows how out of touch we are with video games. Give us the Crash Bandicoot. Well, we got that.
These, like, legacy ones. Yeah, video games are a adult hobby I've picked up. That's why I've picked this stuff up, because I like to know about it. I like to have just, like, a general idea of what's happening in the video game world, but I'm not playing anything.
Right, and that's, like, again, what are we, like, 8 months in? That's kind of the intent of the show too, right? It was just like, we wanted to be knowledgeable about a lot of different stuff, so we don't ever learn everything there is to know about a couple, but we'll at least equip you guys with enough information to be dangerous at your next D&D game when somebody brings up X, Y, and Z, right? Critical Role, and you'll be like, oh, I know about that.
So yeah, I would have been right if I had the right character.
Yeah, well, we'll add it to the list. Somebody email it. We'll email it to ourselves, shiphappenssisters at gmail.com, and we'll add it to the list. Or if you have any video game characters with better sizzling love stories, let us know. This is our third video game characters, because we had The Witcher, we had Arcane Legends, our League of Legends, and then
that was
this is our well, it's gonna be a movie. They just announced the cast or something, so Legend of Zelda is coming out as a movie with. I don't know if they're voice actors or if they're real actors, but I'm guessing based on the Disney trend of live action, it's gonna be live action.
It's probably live action. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, maybe there'll be some more shipping from. No, I think they're kids. I feel like I saw a picture of Zelda and she was very young.
Yeah, they are young, but they will probably put
We don't
some
need more
kind of breadcrumbs in there, right? Because
Yes.
it's just like Disney with the Judy Hopps, right? They're never the Nick Wilde. They're never going to confirm it because it's like then you like alienate half the people, but they're going to get enough out there just so the people who want it to happen can make it their own headcanon, but they're never going to confirm it, is my guess.
Yes. And that's kind of what I'm coming, like, my final conclusion here, is Nintendo really knows what they're doing. They know how to, like, just leave enough breadcrumbs for the fans, but everything is so easily refutable.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it tricky when we get into the final section here where we give them our one true pairing scores.
So what do you have? What is our one true pairing? Do we see it? Do we want to see it? Is it hot? So, do we see it?
I think I see it. That's probably the highest it's going to get, Emily.
I think so, right? Like, I could see why people can see it.
Yeah, I think
they
I'd give
are
them like a 7. Like, I believe that in these games, these two would get together. Easy.
Yeah. There's like there could be a cute dynamic there with like the bodyguard thing. All right, 7, 8. Do we want to see it? See that? I don't care.
That's the other thing is like, do I want any more knowledge of the Legend of Zelda in my head? That's a low. If I was into it, maybe I would want to see it.
Exactly. There's just not like there's no tension there. There's no, spice. So it's like.
You know who's creating
they
the
could
tension
get together.
is Nintendo by not giving us a
Yeah, whether Nintendo's going to commit.
So I'd say 6.
Like there's nothing, like they could get together, they could not get together. I'm not really rooting for them either way.
Yeah, I'd say 6 because that's slightly more like I want it to be confirmed. I want it to be confirmed for the fans. I want the Zelink shippers to get their thing at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a 7 and a 6.
So you got okay. I think I got an 8 and a 5. I'll just put a solid middle because I just don't care. Okay, and then is it hot? I don't think it's hot.
No. That one fan edit was like hot in a romantic way, where it's like passionate, but it's not like it's not like hot.
No.
I give it a 3, maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah, I was
4.
saying 2. Okay, I'll give it a 3. I'm a little bit off. We're about similar. So I mean, I feel like that puts it at like 4.
Yeah, it gives it a 5.3.
Mine was exactly the same. I had different numbers, but I still got 16. So 5. Yeah.
Which I feel
down to
bad
5.
now that we do this system. I feel like we just always end up at like 5 or 6. But like, I think 5 is the perfect amount for this like totally lackluster couple. It's neither repulsive or inspiring.
Well, exactly. We're exactly in the middle between being for it and against it, like Nintendo.
Right. This is exactly where Nintendo wants us to be, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. Could go either way.
Okay, so 5 out of what are you gonna make it 5 out of?
5 out of 10 bowls of rice with just like whatever you have around thrown in, because that's what he cooks.
Oh, really?
This video lives forever in my mind. This guy, he's like, I'm going to eat every meal that Link makes in Breath of the Wild. And then it's just like rice and eggs. That's like a meal I eat now. And he's just, by the end of it, he's like, I'm running out of time. And I'm like so full. And none of it's any good. And it's just so funny.
So he actually ate it. Did they ever come out good?
I mean, they would rate them. So some of them I think were good. But it would just be like potato and water. Like, because they're just using the ingredients you like needed to make the meal in the game. So it was just a struggle.
So 5 out of 10 bad dinners.
Yeah, there we go.
And then I'm going to say 5 out of 10 great fairy fountains. Ooh. Ooh. That was the other joke I was sitting on.
Yeah. Do my fairy impression.
and Linkendorf or whatever.
Ganondorf. Oh,
that's
yeah.
low. That's low.
That's
like a 2.
No, I feel like there's potential there, but it's not being utilized.
Get on it, fans.
It's there. Maybe the people who are into it are in a different. They're in the Final Fantasy.
Yeah, maybe.
I
think the people who are
their
into
talents are being
Ganon
used
Link
elsewhere.
would say like mid. Do they see it? Do they want to see it high? Is it high? They're like writing it because they think it's hot. They're not doing it because it's a happy ending.
Yeah, it's just like a different interpretation of shipping than what we have.
Right. And at that note, we will wind it up. And we will see you back here in another couple weeks with a book talk book couple. Right? Isn't it a book talk?
It's kind of. It's not one of the biggest ones, but it's definitely on there.
It's one of the ones that seemed most tolerable to read.
Yeah, it comes across my For You page. Like, this is like a TikTok book, a romantasy, but it's still like well written.
It's definitely book talk in the sense that it moves fast. It's not a slow burn. But anyways, you'll have to come back next episode to hear about that. Until then, we would love to hear from you. Text us at the number in the show notes or email us at shiphappenssisters@gmail.com. Let us know what couples you want to hear about or your thoughts on Zelink or your thoughts on Ganon Link, you know? Are you one of those deviants? Let us know. I'd love to cover you on my other podcast. On that note, come back in 2 weeks because we all know ship happens.
Ship happens.
That's one of the jokes you were saving.
Yes, it was. Excuse me, princess.